Welcome to the new Gosa Gamers Game of the Week. It's been a while since these guys put out a new replay, categorized as the Game of the Week. But I'm going to commentate on it because it's about time they did. And I'm always into a good game of StarCraft. I've been posting a lot of non-StarCraft commentaries over recent times, as you guys have seen. But, of course, my core fan base, the people that like listening to Vol commentaries, are mostly StarCraft players. So, sorry to you guys that I haven't really been keeping up, but I haven't been playing StarCraft lately, so I have been having trouble keeping up with the scene and just with any new developments about people's strategies. And B, really, I've just been distracted by other stuff, so there you have it. Anyway, this game is between a Protoss player and a Terran player, as you guys have seen. The Terran player is a Korean player known as Start. I don't think he's a pro gamer, he might be a semi-pro, but you'll have to correct me on that one. All I know about him is that he's called Start, he plays Terran, and that he's a Korean. At least I think he's Korean, I'm pretty sure of that. Again, you guys, if you want to fill me in with any details on the comments, you're welcome to. But his opponent is called Kwaksa, belonging to the SAM clan, and he is Protoss, the teal Protoss at the top left. The map is Destination, a two-player map, and you've got the Protoss player putting down his gate on 11, sending out a probe to scout. Now, our Terran player, of course, walling in. Very sensible thing to do on this map. It's a two-player map. Of course, a Protoss player might be sneaky and put some gateways out in the middle of the map, knowing that he can just send Zealots straight away to his opponent without having to scout, knowing that his opponent will be at that position. But that's why the Terran player goes for a wall-in. We've got a 12 gas, pretty standard stuff for the Protoss builds so far. Protoss player is going to bring his probe up the ramp here. Will it put down a pylon to prevent the wall? We'll find out soon. If he's planning on sending a Zealot in to be a bit of an aggressor there, you might see him put down a pylon, but decided not to yet. The SCV's in the way. Getting a few hits off of the probe, so that's really going to damage it, unfortunately. We've got a gas going down with 3 SCVs mining, and there's the supply depot. Sends out another SCV to scout later on. So pretty good timing here by the Terran, really nothing going on. In the meantime, the Protoss player's putting down a cybernetics core before second pylon. So it's probably a Dragoon build. Really can't think of anything else that he's like signaling that we're doing anything sneakily, if any of that made sense. Forget it. Let's go over to the action here. The Marine shooting at the probe, gonna kill it eventually. Probe is gonna hang around probably just to find out how late the Terran leaves it before he starts taking SCVs off gas, and that way he'll find out. Okay, here we go. Yeah, what you missed there is that another Marine trapped the probe in by well, with thanks to the SCV putting down a supply depot right at the bottom of the mirror line, preventing the probe from getting around. And there you see SCVs being dropped from gas, so it looks like we're probably going for a fast expand build, not any kind of factory aggressive build. In the meantime, the SCVs in the Protoss space will see that cybernetics core spinning, we'll see the third pylon, see no second gateway as of yet. Dragoon's going to get rid of the SCV, but after the SCV has been cleared out, then we'll see what really is in store for our SCV player. Once the Protoss player puts his extra buildings down. But we've got a command center. I must admit this is a very early command center. Just having seen, I think, oh, here we go. Protoss Citadel of Adun, so he's going for Dark Templars. Gonna be very cheesy and rush him here. But let's do some commentary here on what is going on with the build orders. We've got a second gateway going down, and obviously directly to Dark Templars as soon as the SCV's been destroyed. And in the Terran base, we've got 3 SCVs back on gas. We've got the Siege, I think it's a Siege Expand. Yeah, Siege Expand going off with a very early command center. And the reason why he's done that is because he thought the Protoss player was going for a 1-gate Goon, a fast expand, and that's pretty sensible. But instead, he's going for the Dark Templar rush. Look, I don't think that really will work. The Terran player will get an engineering bay down in time if he's worth a salt. And, ooh, I don't really like this. 2 Dragoons out here going to snipe the tank now. And the tank pulling back, gonna have to go up the ramp. Gonna take out 1 Dragoon here, but it's looking pretty bad here. Taking out the tank, and the Dragoon's gonna move in. He's gonna see that really early command center. And he's gonna see that there's no engineering bay being produced. So he's gonna know that he has an opportunity to try and rush in pretty quick with the Dark Templars. This Dragoon's gonna be lost. So that's two Dragoons traded for 1 tank and a look inside the Terran base. Now, I probably would have preferred to have the Protoss situation here. Getting a good look at the Terran base, losing 2 Dragoons, not too much of a big deal if you've got Dark Templars about to follow this up. There's the Engineering Bay, he's going to see that halfway done. Now, it's going to remain to be seen whether the Dark Templars can get there in time. The Command Center going down, the Dragoon's going to see that as well. And wow, totally escaping with that Dragoon with most of its body integrity intact. That probe putting down a Nexus there, and most likely going to go for a 3rd Nexus as well after these Dark Templars are out, just because he wants to really get the advantage and make the best use of his Dark Templars. That's the way to do it. You really harass the Dark Templars while expanding. And that really is the best way to go. But we need to see a missile turret very quickly. There's one missile turret. Very interesting placement. I guess it's because he expects something like Reavers, and that's the position right between the diagonal line between the 2 main bases. At any rate, Zealot moving in here sees that missile turret going up now. We've got Dark Templars on the way. Dragoon's moving in here to get rid of the turret. It's pretty much all or nothing for this Protoss player with this kind of attack. He really wants to get rid of that SCV, and he has done so, but another SCV is going to come in looking to take out the turret now. The SCV building a new turret a lot closer, but it's not going to be in time for the Dark Templar moving in now. It's going to go straight for the tank. Very interesting choice. I would have thought he'd go for the turret first. But wow, that actually takes out a tank. I guess it's because if he takes out the tank, then potentially he can come in with more Dragoons. And that turret is going to be completed. Or is it more SCVs going in for it? A lot of blocking going on now. The turret's up, so that Dark Templar is going to get shot down. And this is actually quite nice defense here by the SCV player. By the Terran player. But now hits going off again on the turret. SCV coming into repair. Having to focus on the Dark Templar instead. Gonna take out the turret, but took out the Dark Templar as well just in time. And man, that was really interesting microfight there. I feel like the Terran player played a lot better. In the meantime, as you can see, typical Protoss stuff. Going for Dark Templars into a triple Nexus. Very standard way to play with Dark Templars, really. Just putting the opponent on the back foot before you go and get a triple expansion. And I don't think the Terran player has really been phased that badly. He needs to get SCVs back on minerals, which he's doing now. But now he's got an opportunity to go for something like a 6-fact timing push, or even 4 or 5 aggressive factories with a 3rd base. Probably prefer the 3rd base if you're a confident player and really confident with your macro management, as I'm sure Start is, our Terran player here. But yeah, Protoss player expanding his gateways as he's going to need to. He's going to be able to fuel them with the 3 gates that he's got there. Putting down the robotics facility, he's going to need that for observers, because the Terran player will want to hit back with some Vulture aggression. Sending out an SCV just to take a look and try to confirm whether there are indeed 3 Protoss bases, or I mean, potentially he could be doing something totally wacky, like taking straight to carriers or something crazy like that. But the Terran player will want confirmation of what's going on. Heading directly over to the top left with the FCV, if you just check the minimap, and is going to try and scout that out. In the meantime, we've got Protoss Dragoons out in the midfield, preventing any more Vultures or harassment, scouting from going on. Terran player is going to see out the top left with the SCV that nothing's going on there. And second gas going down. So now taking a look at the amount of factories that the Terran player is putting in. As you can see, Vultures being produced, will be being produced, because we've got ion thrusters as well as mines being upgraded. Lots of probes being transferred to the 3rd base for the Protoss. And it's now going to be heading into a bit of a macro war, unless a lot of Vulture harassment occurs, but we're going to see that in probably a couple of minutes' time, at the very most. And this 3rd base is totally into swing. He's got, I like this, pay careful attention to the building placement there. It means that the Terran player can't swing any Vultures around the back, and that means that the Protoss base, if he chooses to make one at the top right, the very top right of the map, is going to be inaccessible by Vultures unless he gets a dropship or something, but a dropship could be quite good. Anyway, it looks like a push is being made here. The Kwaksa, the Protoss player, is going to see this. Both Dragoons are getting heavily shelled there. I like the blocking with the SCV in at the top there. That was very nice, so totally melting 2 Dragoons without much return fire. But now the Protoss player really has a chance to stop this, to blunt this with all these troops here. Is it going to be enough? I mean, the Terran player has nicely timed this right before the 3 Protoss places really kick in. But man, no siege happening right here. Instead, he's just going to focus fire the Zealots as he needs to, before possibly sieging up with the tanks. But a nice